Hey everybody, welcome to Nevis. This is a really cool little airport. And I'm going to take you to another cool airport today. Which is just north of here, Bradley. So let's get going here. Fuel is on. Rotating beacon on. Mixture rich. Carb heat cold. Master and master and battery on. Let's prime the engine. 3 shots of prime. Throttle open about 1/4 inch. Engage the starter. Magnetos back to both. Throttle to 1000 RPM. Check the oil pressure. Oil pressure is coming up. The reason I'm making this flight today is because I've actually been working on my landings a little bit because I was having kind of a tough time landing the Britain-Norman Islander, and I came to the conclusion that it was, let's see, 1016, that it was basically poor technique, and what I really ought to do is get back into a simpler airplane and kind of brush things up. So I had 122.8. So I did that a little bit last night and a little bit this morning. I'm going to do that again today, and I thought I'd make a little video here. So let's engage the brakes, release the parking brake, turn on the nav and strobe lights, turn on the taxi light. Alright, and so busy little airport today, which is kind of cool to see. This is live weather, live traffic. Alright, let's look real quick. Let's re-engage the parking brake. Let's do flight control check. Yeah. Oh, okay. Up on that side, down on that side, up on that side, down on that side. Flaps are all the way down on that side, all the way down on that side, all the way up on that side, all the way up on that side. And the reason I do this every time I fly mixture full rich is that I really want to make sure that I ingrain good habits. That's part of what I enjoy about flight simulation. Let's see, 1700, left mag, got a drop, back to both, right mag, got a drop, back to both. Let's see, carb heat, got a drop, carb heat back off, back to 1700, looking good on the gyro, oil temperature, oil pressure, both good. I'm back to 1000. So I'm really trying to ingrain, let's do a throttle idle check, really trying to ingrain good habits in my flying, making sure, you know, throttle idle check is fine, that I'm doing the right things. Alright, let's lean the mixture again, turn off the taxi light, turn on the landing light, and let's broadcast here. Nevis traffic, Cessna 4753 X-ray, back taxiing runway 7 for departure to the north, Nevis. And oh yeah, I've got the parking brake on. There you go. See, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, and let's hope I guessed the runway number correctly. I didn't. It's runway 10. That's pretty poor. Now, quiz time. What is this area back here with the arrows behind that big white stripe? This is area that can be used for takeoff, but not for landing. Alright, runway 10. Let's see, TKPK, let me check. This is for Bradshaw. I want to make sure I know it. Yeah, use your brakes there, Mike. Runway 7. Alright, I just want to make sure I know which runway I'm going to be approaching. Nevis traffic, Cessna 4753 X-ray, departing runway 10, left turn out to the north, Nevis. Alright, mixture is rich, carb heat is cold, power is coming in. Alright, engine instruments are in the green, airspeed is alive. 65, and rotates. So there's a wind farm in that. And my allergies are killing me, and I think it's inevitable that at some point I'm going to cough into this microphone. Almost a little bit difficult to speak. Alright, we're 500 AGL. Let's make our left turn. Water looking beautiful today. I still think this little airplane is a hoot to fly, both in the sim and in real life. I think it's just a blast. I really enjoy it. It's so simple. There's not a lot you can forget to do or do wrong. And it's just it's a great touring airplane because the views you get are just wonderful, and I think it handles really true. And I mean, obviously you're not going to be flying this from New York to LA, not one stop anyway. Let's bag it at 800 feet. Knock a little on the power. You know, but I've done a lot of flying in this airplane in the simulator, and it's fun. I understand people like flight simulation for different things, and I don't think there's a lot of people flying the 150 around, but I certainly think it's worth the price of admission. So 2400 is good. Let's make our right turn here. Not going real far today. I'm just kind of looking for a decent length runway that isn't all that challenging, and something a little different. I mean, I've landed at both of these airports. But it's just nice to do something a little different. So basically I've been having trouble flaring, really. It's kind of the easiest way to put it. And I think what I've done is made kind of a mental adjustment into how I approach it and how I think about it. And what I've been thinking is, instead of thinking about a flare, I've been thinking about it like a transition from descending flight to level flight. One of the things about flying small airplanes is that like jets, large jets, they come in at a nose-high attitude. And so there is no transition really from the approach attitude to the landing attitude. Whereas with, you know, GA aircraft like this, and your 172s, your 182s, your Moody's, your Cherokees, you know, even, you know, your TBMs and twins, like the Islander, the Baron, all these airplanes come in, approach the airport in a nose down attitude. And so you've got to transition from a nose down attitude to a nose up attitude for landing. And so the question is kind of, how do you do that? And rather than thinking of it in one step, I'm kind of breaking it down in my mind. Because once you transition to level flight,
Senski traffic skywing 1 Alpha 10 miles final runway 07.
Bradshaw traffic, Cessna 4753 X-ray is on a right downwind for runway 7, Bradshaw. Basically...
traffic inside skywing 1 Alpha.
I hope that guy isn't talking to me, because that would be... Let me check that sound here real quick. I decided not to set up my usual iPad and all the fun stuff. Oh yeah, he is. And traffic approaching Bradshaw, Cessna 4753 X-ray. I'm going to do a right 360 here to give you space and time for you to land Bradshaw.
Thank you, sir. We will continue as number 1, skywing 1 Alpha.
It's so funny that he's actually there. The one time I don't set up my iPad is the one time I actually need it. But anyway, let me see if I can get myself on a There we go. Let's see if I can locate this guy here. Alright, so he should be behind me. Bradshaw traffic, Cessna 4753 X-ray, turning right base for runway 7, Bradshaw.
Bradshaw traffic, Skywings 1 Alpha, short final start, basic full stop landing.
So anyway, back to my back to my landing modes. So basically, the way I'm looking at it is a transition from approach attitude to level flight, just leveling off over the runway, and because you are, level and over the runway.
Bradshaw traffic, Skywings 1 Alpha, runway vacated. Thank you for the cooperation.
No problem at all, sir. Have a great flight, Cessna 4753 X-ray.
Thank you.
And that allows you to basically when you're when you're have no power in and you're leveling off, your airspeed's going to bleed off pretty quickly. So when you approach at a reasonable airspeed, at a good airspeed, in this plane about 65 knots, and once you level off over the runway, that airspeed's going to die quickly. And then once you've leveled off, just pull the nose up a little bit, and essentially kind of make it a two-step process as opposed to a one-step process. Anyway, that's the way I'm thinking about it. Bradshaw traffic, Cessna 4753 X-ray, and a 5-mile final runway 7, Bradshaw. And by the way, that right there, which you just experienced, is why I think VATSIM is so cool, because you're literally flying with other pilots, and let's pull out the carb heat here, and I think that's pretty neat. I really do. And it's, here's me just jumping in the airplane, not really paying any attention. And obviously in real life this would be a towered field, but here I hop in the plane fat, dumb, and happy, and surprise, surprise, there's other traffic. And I could have been oblivious and not even bothered to try and check and see where that guy was, and I could have ruined his flight, So I mean, it's just, I like it. It's neat. So carb heat is on. Mixture is rich. Bring the airspeed back into flap operating range, and there is what we've got. So put in the first notch of flaps. Looks like it's gonna be bit of a right crosswind, which makes sense. Bradshaw traffic, Cessna 4753 X-ray, 3 mile final, runway 7, Bradshaw. And not gonna quite put in that second notch yet, because otherwise it'll be Tuesday by the time we get there. Alright, we'll bring in the second notch of flaps, push the nose down. Okay. Let's see that. The other thing I'm really getting sensitive to is watching the airspeed, what airspeed I'm trimmed for, and watching what that vertical speed is going to do to try to maintain that airspeed, because you know, you might look at your vertical speed and think that's what's changing, that's what's moving up and down, but it really isn't. It's, what's going on is your airplane is trying to maintain whatever airspeed you've got it trimmed for. Back a little bit more power, slow down a little bit, 65. Bradshaw traffic, Cessna 4753 X-ray, short final, runway 7, Bradshaw. And your airplane wants to maintain whatever airspeed you've got it trimmed for, and it will pitch up or down to hold that airspeed. And it's kind of neat because I think Flight Simulator does a really good job of simulating that. I'm like way high here at this point. That's alright. You'll see, so now I'll pull a little bit of power out, nose is going to drop, it's going to pick up some airspeed, but then that nose will come back up because it wants to get rid of that airspeed, because it's trimmed for 65 and that's what the airplane wants. Just wants that trimmed airspeed, doesn't care about anything else. So we'll get down here and we'll try to level off about 15, 20 feet above the runway and just level off. Just hold a level pitch attitude. Airspeed is great. Bring the power out. And there we are, nice level. And just bring the nose up. Bring the nose up. You know, and I didn't make any crosswind correction there, and that's you know, I should, clearly. But what I wanted to do was stay focused on the touchdown and just getting that touchdown correct. And you see that, I mean, you saw how easy that was. Just level off and just hold that level pitch attitude, and that airspeed's going to disappear and it's going to make your landing so much easier. So I was really pretty pleased with that, very pleased with that actually. And let's clear the runway, so let's lean the mixture, put the flaps up, landing light off, taxi light on. Bradshaw traffic, Cessna 4753 X-ray is clear the runway at Bradshaw. And that right there might seem to you like, it might seem to, I mean, I think if you're watching, you're probably relatively interested in flying and flight simulation. You know, maybe one more than the other, who knows, but that right there to me was probably one of the most pleasing flights I've had in, a decent amount of time, because excuse me for clearing my throat in your ear. Just that nice little kiss of the ground, and I don't even like. Let me try and put it this way: if I have a good landing and I don't know why I had a good landing, and I can't understand what I did that gave me a good landing, that doesn't give me any satisfaction. Mixture idle cutoff, throttle is idle, landing lights, taxi light is off, rotating beacon off, magnetos off, master and batteries off. Just gonna hit continue here for a second. If I have a good landing and I don't understand why, and I don't understand what I did to get a good landing, and I don't know whether I can repeat that good landing that I just made, that doesn't give me any satisfaction. What does give me satisfaction, as we look at this really cool airport that somebody made, what does give me satisfaction is what just happened, which is I had a plan for that approach and for that landing. I had a plan for what I wanted to do to achieve a good landing. I did that, and the landing was excellent. And so that may seem simple, but I tell you what, that made my day. It really did. So hope you guys are doing well. Take care.